Well, coming from Melbourne, there's just one thing I'd like to settle right now, Ron. Is it true that Sydney is going to adopt Australian rules?
Not quite, Arthur. Rugby league is still our #1 winter sport. My fondest memory of 25 years ever is the first drawn grand final in 1977 between St George and Parramatta. Parramatta was down 9-0 at half-time and struggled back to be 9-all at full time. With an extra 20 minutes of play, still no result.
Well, Australian rules has brought a quarter of a century of TV excitement too. Remember back in 1970, Carlton against Collingwood. They were down 44 points going into the second half. Jesselenko, with that number 25, played to new heights that day.
Centre half forward for Carlton now. Here comes Jesselenko. Jesselenko, a left footer. There's nobody there. Look at this. It's bounced through.
You know, Arthur, we're both very strong in remembering the good old days. How about the champions who've become bigger than their own sports? The ones that television made into personalities in their own right.
Well, Muhammad Ali is the greatest. He's got the most recognised face in the world. With 3 heavyweight championship wins, he's perhaps the most famous sportsman of this era or any era. Or take the Golden Bear, Jack Nicklaus, a string of wins in the US Open, the US Masters, and the way he's made it to Australia to win so many times here, with Channel 9's cameras catching every stroke. Bjorn Borg and his 5 straight wins at Wimbledon, placid, methodical, but instantly hailed all over the world.
Borg's done it. Bjorn Borg. Listen to that ovation.
And our own queen of Australian sport, Yvonne Cawley, a great champion who's won everybody's heart.
Champion. She's done it.
And speaking of plenty of heart, who was the greatest racehorse in the last 25 years? Gunsynd, maybe, but probably Tulloch. His win in the 1957 Caulfield Cup was a real champion's performance.
Of course, while we watch the champs in action, I should point out that television shows it warts and all.
At least what I think about you, I don't say in the papers.
Is still involved with his centre opponent. Pick that up for you too now. And what a stoush. What a stoush. Oh.
German driver Manfred Wöckelhock on the 4th lap, accelerating over a hump, found himself and his car airborne. Nobody gets out of crashes like this, but Manfred must have been doing something right.
I suppose the all-time TV loser was a competitor in the 400 metres track at Moscow. For years he trained for just this moment, this one event. This is what happened.
There he was, nearest the camera, settling down nicely for the start of his 400 metres hurdles heat. And events, well, sort of passed him by. Was that a starting pistol I heard? His expression said it all. 7,000 miles and 4 years training. This.
And I'm sure you will agree, unlike our friend at Moscow, TV and sport in Australia started fast, is still running strongly, and Channel 9 is proud to be a leader in the field.
Sports Sportscaster Maury Kirby was always noted for vigorous, straight-from-the-shoulder sports editorials. He used to slam home to viewers these every night of the week. What people didn't know was that Maury used to read all the punchy, high-powered reports from cue cards, sometimes called, unkindly I believe, idiot sheets, with everything written on them and held by someone just off camera. Well, what Maury didn't know one night was that someone changed the words on the cards, inserting a few choice phrases that would have had Maury and the station off the air.
People who read the newspaper report early this week could be excused for believing that Melbourne would soon have the first indoor running track in the Southern Hemisphere. The venue is supposed to be Olympic Park swimming pool, but, and I make no apology for it, at the present time there is as much chance of the V3As building a running track there as the Homing Pigeons Association have of taking... Oh, hey, turn it up. Who the bloody hell did that?
The Homing Pigeon Association took the advice and have not been heard from since. There have been times when making the right connection hasn't always been easy.
Fine weather for the fight. We've already spoken with Jack Rennie, the manager of the champion, and now on a line to London, we're talking to Mrs. Alan Rudkin. Hello, Mrs. Rudkin. How are you?
I beg your pardon?
Can you hear us? We're talking to you from Melbourne, Australia. Mrs. Rudkin.
Yes. I'm Mrs. Rudkin.
Well, it's 10 o'clock at night there. That's the time situation, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
We're calling you from a television studio which already has a program in presentation. It's the morning of the fight in Melbourne, and we're wondering if you have had any contact in the last 24 hours with your husband.
I'm afraid I'm not Mrs. Alan Rudkin. I'm Mrs. A.E. Rudkin, I'm afraid.
Well, you know, it's not often that people can be contacted from the other side of the world early in the morning, so you're no relation to the Empire boxing champion who fights in Melbourne tonight.
No, what a pity, isn't it?
A little later, the Nine Network engaged as the news commentator Kevin Sanders, and a man who always perceived the newsman's obligation to get his facts right.
This week in Australia was the air disaster in Queensland with a loss of 24 dead. Most newspapers expressed dismay and sorrow, but also stressed that even with the new disasters this week, Australia's safety record in terms of air passenger deaths per million miles flown is still the lowest in the world. Typical was the editorial comment in the Brisbane Courier Mail. It said, wrong paper. If we could just return for one moment to some commercials, thus giving me a chance to get what apparently I have here a very disorganized range of papers, and rather than go through all of them searching and lapsing from time to time, I think if we could pause for just 1 second.
Kevin, if you say so, we'll do that. We're back with you after this commercial break.
This is golf at its best. And out there, Greg Norman's mixing it with the best.
Same back in the clubhouse. Mixing it with the best means Schweppervescence. Schweppervescence brings out the full taste and life of your favorite spirits. Schweppervescence. Mix it with the best.
You can't watch your kids or your neighbour's kids all the time, and swimming pools can have a fatal attraction. This is why ARC designed their weld mesh pool safety fence and gate. The long, strong welded uprights prevent young children from getting a foothold. The self-latching gate gives further protection. Easy to erect, economical. The ARC pool fence. It's more necessary than the pool.
In an age of compromise, it's reassuring every once in a while to be reminded that traditional craftsmanship can still be found today. Here at the House of Dunhill, the finest traditions of craftsmanship have been maintained for generations. For those who appreciate the finer things, Dunhill.
Because I wouldn't even go into the tool shed unless I know that Ted is sprayed with bacon.
Right. I don't blame you, and we spray when going on holidays to stop things breeding. Look, I think bacon's fabulous stuff. I mean, I even use it when I'm storing clothes and things because they're too valuable to lose, aren't they?
More and more people rely on Baygon surface spray for peace of mind. One application gives months of protection.
I know when I'm fishing around my pots and pan cupboard, I don't want any nasty little surprises, you know.
And now to an increasingly important area, daytime television, where, for example, Mike Walsh achieves per capita world record audiences. No man is an island. Mike is surrounded by a sea of soapies.
I got it. Hello?
Hi, Brian. This is Vince.
We must have a bad connection.
Is something wrong?
My water pump went out and there wasn't any service station. Well, when? When did it happen?
I want to see your face when I tell you. I won't tell you over the phone.
Isn't that a bit risky?
I didn't know it was going to be like this.
Come on, dear. I want you to be honest about your feelings. How about going to dinner with me tonight?
How can I have his child?
She seems very sure of herself.
She lost their baby.
Maybe that baby wasn't meant for us.
There's only one way to find out.
Exactly how pregnant are you?
I'm just uncomfortable, that's all.
Come back here, you little parasite! Gene, come back here! All right, go on, go ahead, go on. You'll be back. You're gonna come back falling on your hands and knees, begging me to take you back!
Incidentally, that gentleman receives the Tony Ward Memorial Trophy for Best Sustained Performance in a Continuing Role on television. See, this is the special land of daytime television, and for many years it was the special terrain of one man who came to Australia from the USA, originally as a comedian, and stayed to become an Australian institution.
It could be you, Mrs. R. Dowsing of Royal Crescent in Armadale. It could be you, Mrs. Rita Henderson of Edinburgh Street in Flemington. It could be you, Mrs. M. McCabe of Ann Street in Blackburn. Or it could be you. And now here is your master of surprises, Tommy Hanlon Jr.
Whatever you do, don't turn that dial on hello all the country stations now, because we got a good show for you today, and some lady or gentleman out there is going to have a chance to find the Riverland orange with 30 pounds in it. Mercy!
You want to see your two grandchildren you've never seen? No, you won't frighten them. There's the two little ones. There they come.